This podcast is brought to you by Stratus Media Group.
All right, here we go.
Check. Guys, welcome back to Passing the Bar podcast, where we're a group of bartenders talking about the ups and the downs of the industry and all the social issues that we deal with. Today, we've got Bobby Earley, the Senior Field Sales Manager for Virginia and D.C. for White Claw. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
What's going on, guys? Thanks so much for having me.
And today I've also got Evan.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Steve.
How you doing out there?
And my name is Chris Pryor. So first off, wow, White Claw.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. You guys had a killer summer.
Yes, we did. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, a lot of people think that this is just some overnight brand, and they're just starting to hear about it, but this is something I've been strongly pushing for about 3 years.
Oh, okay.
White Claw came out 3 years ago, right about after the boom of Not Your Father's Root Beer.
Oh my God, yeah, I do remember that.
That shit lasted like a good 2 months.
I mean, it killed it in those 2 months.
Lines out the door.
Yeah, anytime it was dropped, it was gone.
Right.
Yeah.
They end up having a shortage issue, thinking that they were going to sell as much as they ended up selling.
Right.
To a point where they had to figure out a new way to package it because they were running out of the bottles. Mm-hmm. So once they fixed that problem and they decided, okay, we're going to go with 6-pack cans, that fad kind of like started running away. Mm-hmm. So right after that, I started having to go to distributors saying, hey, guys, we got this hard seltzer, and the confidence level in the room wasn't that strong. Because it's like, well,
okay,
somebody's trying something other than beer.
Right.
What's going to be next? It's going to be Kombucha. Like, where are you guys going with this type of thing? And so it's been a slow 3-year build. Typically, the state of Virginia is behind trends about 3 years in everything, whether it's craft, cider, and it just so happened that this summer I knew it was coming, especially after last year. We've been on allocation with the product for over 2 years now, just because what was happening is that some of the more mature areas up in like New England, the birthplace of seltzer, that's kind of where Spike Seltzer started, and then became Bon Viv. The numbers out there were just outrageous, and I was looking at my numbers in Virginia and saying, geez, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I be where these guys are? But at the time, their seltzer business was about 70% of their business. And last year, I was looking at numbers prior to this, for coming on here today, we were only about 20% of the business last year with the White Claw brand. Uh-huh. Fast forward, 1 calendar year, now White Claw's at 46% of the business, repping about almost 550,000 CEs in the state of Virginia. Right.
Good God.
Unreal.
And I know you guys deal with a lot of craft guys. I mean, which craft guy wouldn't want to be able to say that he sold 500,000 cases in the state of Virginia this year?
No joke, man.
So it's just, and it's not stopping.
Right.
Our velocity's increased since we've run out of stock, and currently we're sitting at about almost a 70% share of the seltzer category.
Wait. You ran out of stock?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, that hit big news,
White
though.
Claw shortage.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually pretty big news. Like, I was like, even coming before here, and I was looking at it, I think a week ago was when it first started happening, maybe 2 weeks ago. But it was basically the CEO said that you guys are, victim to your own success right now.
Right. So the thing with us, Mark Anthony Brands, we also make Mike's Hard Lemonade, Cayman Jack, our harder brand, which prior to White Claw coming out was the biggest brand we had in Virginia, just because Virginia has so many C-stores, and we completely dominate that high ABV flavored category.
Oh, for sure.
Within C-stores. And then fast forward, White Claw comes into the mix. We don't have our own brewery. We never had our own brewery. We contract brew, meaning that we buy our time on certain lines throughout the country to brew our products. With that, you have to know how many cans you're going to need, how much sugar you're going to need, how much flavor you're going to need of these certain products, and able to forecast how much you're going to build on for the next year. Well, every year we sit down with our distributor folks and we say, hey, we're going to sit down and this is going to be our WB plan. What do you forecast us building up to next year? And the consensus around the state was pretty much we're going to build to 100% growth. Well, as of today, we're 275% growth.
That's unreal.
Hey,
yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
So that crazy. Just kind of stopped us from being able to do what we could do to build this thing out. So what we started doing back in January is just started loading up our distributors to the point where, I'm getting phone calls, Bobby, we got 180 days of supply on hand right now. And I'm like, we have 180 days supply on hand for February. We don't have it for what's going to happen in March and June.
Right.
Trust me. Sit back.
The summertime.
Take a deep breath. Trust me. You're going to be happy that you got this. And luckily enough, all of my purchasing managers listened. They loaded up their warehouse.
Yeah.
And we were pretty much able to get all the way through Labor Day without any major shortages. what ended up happening is I heard you guys talk about in a previous podcast is that 4th of July just amped
Exploded.
up. It just
God.
exploded
To the moon.
You know,
Every person on the beach.
But it's
Every cookout in America.
Every
it's
cookout
good,
in
though.
America. It is.
Hottest outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
fuck
if somebody hands you one of these things, and you're like, it's incredibly refreshing.
Speaking of getting
not
handed one of these things, I'm just going to go ahead and,
Go ahead and-
pop this. Thank you,
nice.
Bobby.
Yeah.
no problem, man. Enjoy the mangy.
White Claw Mingo.
But again, like it's funny. I talked to my brother-in-law Ben, we're like IPA drinkers, double IPA drinkers. But man, when it's fucking that hot outside, you can't do it.
Never.
I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
You know,
No.
I still don't understand. I don't understand how people were able to do it before. You know what I mean? Even Budweiser.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you guys like outsold Budweiser for 4th of July.
Right. And
America's
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 freaking
fucking beer.
Oh, my
America.
God.
was
Yeah.
it Flutopia that happened right around the same time frame too?
I think
Yeah.
So
I think it was the same weekend.
I remember watching the article, watching the news the next day, and they're showing all the trash on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing I could look at was the trash because I'm like, that's horrible. And I love the
I
beaches,
see where you're going with
but
that.
I'm like, White Claw, White Claw, White Claw, White Claw, White Claw, White Claw, White Claw. So the fact that these guys, the organizer of that event, are going to go legit next year, huge opportunity for the brand.
yeah.
You better
Oh,
believe
yeah.
I'm going to be all up in that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
should
perfect.
definitely be in on the cleanup too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Boom, done.
Oh, yeah.
White Claw,
Beach
come to party,
cleanup.
and boom, done. You got the locals with you. They'll fucking Chicks Beach. They'll fucking love you.
2020's beach cleanup brought to you by
White Claw.
White Claw, hard seltzer.
Yeah, clean.
No, but it's
responsibly.
true. I was telling you earlier, Bobby, like I'm a big beach volleyball player. You know what I mean? I used to be the guy, have an IPA on the side, have, some light beer, maybe
Yeah.
a Mexican beer, whatever. And now, I kid you not, I play with about 50 guys every Wednesday, all White Claws.
Yep.
Every single one of these big motherfuckers.
Yeah.
White Claw.
Well, I think, what I've started to see a lot with like more younger guys and millennials is that it's about what makes you feel good. It's
Yeah.
about that healthier alternative, the good for you category that
Yeah.
really didn't exist a few years ago.
Yeah.
I would say that the whole reason that Miller Lite came out was just a lighter version of beer. Same thing with Bud and all that. And then you started having like Mick Ultra was super successful, and they had like basically the lowest calories. So that was my big sell point going back to 3 years ago when I'm sitting in front of these distributors, and why White Claw in the seltzer category is different than beer is because there's this new category of men and women that are looking for healthier options.
Yeah.
And White Claw fits that bill, being gluten-free, 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, 2 carbs. And later down the road, I know we're going to talk about some new innovation. We're going even lower. We got a 70 calorie coming out. And then we're actually have a brand where we're raising the ABV for those college age drinkers that just want a little bit more of a kick of White Claw. We're going to be going up
They
to a
don't need
7.
it.
You blacked out yet?
Well, like we were describing it, it's so light.
Right.
It's so light. Like, and
Yeah.
the reason why all these guys love it while we're playing volleyball, it doesn't fill you up.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're never bloated. You may have to use the restroom a little bit because you're drinking quite a few.
Right.
But it's perfect. It's great.
White Claw kegs.
Ooh.
So I can dive right into that.
Please
So-
Because if I was a college kid, I'd drop, probably for a half barrel, I would imagine somewhere around like 150.
Yep, that's
160
what I would
bucks.
say,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'd drop that.
So we had if you look at it from the retailer side and the supplier side, you would drop 150 bucks. That kegs what I think like 6 or 7 cases, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the retailer side, you're gonna get more by selling the 12 packs than you are for that. One of our main competitors was already set up in the keg type business because of some of the other brands that they had. But we found that not to be to put a cloud over anybody's head today, but we're not going to do a keg. We're not set up for it, right?
Yeah.
And the positivity that comes out of it doesn't outweigh the negatives for us.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And for us, also the thing with kegs is that it doesn't let us brand. We build strong brands and create brand loyalty. And if someone's walking around with just a cup of a clear liquid that might have some fruits and things, they're not going to know that that's a White Claw.
Right.
I mean, they might ask and say different things. That's why whenever I've gone to try to make a cocktail for White Claw, I've always wanted to do the trash can style where the can's actually inside the cup because people see that's a White Claw. What's mixed in it? I want it. Type of
Oh, yeah. It's marketing itself.
100%.
Just seeing the drink.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the cans are pretty sexy too.
And I think that with this category, it's all about brand awareness. We talked a little bit about it earlier. I've never seen anything like this. They're calling White Claw the unicorn. Thousands of memes coming out a day.
I was just going to say, so you're talking about brand loyalty and
Yep.
marketing. I've never seen so many memes, GIFs. Social media game is so strong when it comes to White Claw.
Right.
Like, you couldn't log into Instagram this entire summer without
internet.
getting a hit with 4 memes.
Yeah, dude. Viral, things that go viral on the internet. Holy shit!
Oh my
People grabbed onto White Claw.
Yeah,
and they ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think like you were saying a moment ago, is that you have all these millennials that are more concerned about healthier options, and like they're not on that I'm a tough ass dude that drinks beer. It's like I'm just a fucking guy that just wants to drink something and make it taste good.
Yeah.
And then you have these millennials who are hyper focused on their social media game,
Tech
and
savvy.
that's it. So. You just have all these people out there that are starting to pick up your product and just run with it.
And it's all organic. They're creating their own. Like we have our vision of what the brand should be, and it I will say it differs extremely for what some of the memes that are coming out.
Yeah.
Do we love them? Yes. Do we think they're hysterical? Of course.
Yeah.
But it's not every one of these things that come out is something that we agree with or want to create as part of our brand.
I mean, advertising 101 though.
Exactly.
Coverage
Yes.
is coverage.
I do
agree.
You know what I mean?
Good or
Agreed.
bad, and then if you don't have your official stamp on it, you can always say like, well, that's not
Right.
That's we as White Claw the brand, we do not stand by this thing, even though you're kind of geeking out in the corner.
But our
That's
sales
hilarious.
are up 275%.
And we actually we kind of had to put our foot down, with the whole Trevor video came out.
Oh yeah.
With no laws when you're drinking claws, right? Well, don't get me wrong, man. I was tagged in that video probably 4,000 times.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And
I'm sure.
everyone I've never met in my life tagged me in that video, right?
I get it.
And, so,
That's funny.
and I watched it and I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time, we
Right.
had to put some type of social message out there. Had he switched around just a couple words and said, the claw is the law,
Right.
that would have been different.
Right.
But the fact that there are no laws when you're drinking claws, we had to, it's a social responsibility message
100%,
upon
yes.
us.
Right.
But it was super funny to see some of our competitors instantly jumping on that and being like, well, we'll send you anything you want. Here you go, Trev. Like,
Right,
yeah. And now actually he's working with one of our main competitors. I don't know if you guys have seen the video.
Truly.
Well, no.
Oh.
So they end up sending him like I think a pallet of mango. If that's incorrect, I take that and we'll edit that out later. But I
Right.
saw an
Something of the
article
sort.
about it.
Something
Right.
of the sort,
But now he's actually with Natty Seltzer, and they had this social video where he's flying in on a copter to the Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
Good for that guy.
Pow!
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
Yeah.
he jumped on
Wow.
something, he ran with it.
And how old is he? He's young.
early. He's got to be early 20s.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
YouTube star. He makes some pretty hilarious content.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But I can definitely understand from a brand perspective, wanting to reel that back in.
Yeah. Yeah. You get
Hold on.
Let me ask you, have you guys seen any of our White Claw actual commercials that have been on TV, whether ESPN or, I was going to say Lifetime, but this group doesn't really fit that bill.
I can
what are you
call
talking
my mom.
about, man?
I can call my mom right now. She fucking swears by Lifetime.
So we
Every time I
had
walk in her house.
everything with our White Claw commercials. It's all about creating like a premium brand. It's if you see some of our competitors, it's almost like the stereotypical beer commercial where ours is everything's in black and white except the cans, and it's about creating that like premium like spirit feel.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of separates us. And the reason we want that is because the reason that White Claw, we believe, has been so successful is because we have this patentable neutral malt base that we use in all of our products, from Cayman Jack to Mike's Hard Lemonade to our harder brands, that basically we take the same neutral malt base that everybody else has used. So whether it's for Loco, Reds, Ritas, we take that same malt base and we call it the black box. Every one of our breweries has this black box, and we just filter the heck out of it until we're left with this pure malt base that 1 out of 3 vodka drinkers prefer our neutral malt base to Grey Goose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was all created by our one owner. So there's only one guy that owns this whole company, so he's doing very, very well right now.
No way.
Yeah.
He might be able to buy that home.
Yeah.
So what? So this owner, what was his first brand?
He started out. The name of the company was Mark Anthony Brands. That's who we fall under as our big corporate umbrella. But he started off by straight up peddling wine through Canada. He's Canadian. And he started up in the Okanagan Valley of Vancouver. And he was basically going door to door. And he was like, well, how can I got to get a better name. So he thought of a very popular name. And it was Mark Anthony. It'll give me more prestige. People, even if they haven't heard of it, they know what Mark Anthony is.
Right.
And maybe they'll gear towards that. So he started off doing that, and then after a few years, he was lucky enough to land the Corona contract for Canada.
Oh, wow.
And he basically built Corona in Canada for 20 years until